What's good, YouTube? It's Philosopher Joey. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to farm on YuGiOh Duel Links. Now, before I get any further, if you guys want to understand what farming is a really simple thing. Basically, farming is you want to maximize the amount of rewards you're getting from like standard duelist as well as legendary duelist. It's probably the best way to advance in the game. It's the best way to get the best cards, etc., etc. I've seen a lot of guides about this online, but I don't really feel like a lot of them have explained farming the way that it should be explained. They just kind of say, to use these cards and blah, 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 and you'll get some rewards for it, blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to give you guys a more in-depth tutorial. I'm going to try to make this simple. I'm not going to continue to talk and give you guys this long rant at the beginning of it. So we're going to hop right into this, and I'm going to go ahead and showcase the deck list, and then I'm going to do a duel showing you guys how to do it, and then show you the rewards that you'll get afterwards. So the first thing that I need to point out is that there are a couple different ways to farm, but the most effective way to do it is to use Mythical Beast Cerberus. And I'm going to pull this card up in case you guys don't know it. So the effect is each time you activate, or each time a spell card is activated, so that means both you and your opponent. So when you're playing the NPCs or whatever and they use spell cards, you'll get a counter. And every single time you get a spell counter, this card gains 500 attack. And the counters stay on it, and there's no maximum amount of counters. So the concept is you don't want to conduct battle with it, because if you conduct battle with him while he has a boosted attack from the spell counters get removed. So the idea is essentially that if you're playing an NPC, if you boost him up to a high enough attack, they won't attack the Cerberus and they'll put all their stuff in defense. So what you can essentially do is just continue to draw all your spell cards and keep using them and keep using them and keep using them, and you boost Cerberus up to 10,000 plus attack, and then you use different spell cards to change their monsters to attack position, and then attack for a shit ton of damage, and you end up getting a bonus for it. So, excuse me real quick. So anyways, the one problem I see with like the farming guides like online is that they tell you need to use certain spell cards in order to to be maximum effective with your farming strategy, and that's not true at all. Like, there are certain cards that obviously give you a benefit, but not all of us have a bunch of super rares or a bunch of ultra rares, things like that you need in order to build the farming deck. And in fact, the reason most people are farming so that they can get those cards in the first place. So I think it's kind of counterproductive to be like, well, you need to have this deck list and you need to have these specifically rare cards to be able to achieve this farming strategy when you're farming to get the rare cards in the first place, right? So I'm showing you guys my list. You're more than welcome to change this based on what you do have. The only required card, there are only two required cards in the whole entire deck, in my opinion, and that's Mythical Beast Cerberus and Stop Defense. So with Stop Defense, it's very simple. You change your opponent's monsters from defense position to attack position. So when you're playing an NPC, as I said, they're going to put their monsters in defense position. So you're going to want to make sure that you have Stop Defense in it, and you're going to want to make sure that that's the last spell card you activate. So whenever you're playing this or whatever, just make sure if you have Stop Defense, you just keep it in your hand until the very last turn. So with that being said, we're going to get right into a duel. I'm going to showcase this to you guys, and I'm going to kind of explain things as I go along so that you can understand how to to get the most out of using your farming deck. I am actually going to be farming against Rex at level 40 because I'm currently building Rex for PvP. I have 3 two-headed King Rex, and I'm trying to get another Crawling Dragon number 2. So hopefully I'll be able to get that. And that's something else, is that the farming strategy works very, very well against the level 40 legendary duelists, because if you face them at level 40, the rewards are a lot more simplified. So you don't have all those shitty cards that they give you at like level 10. So we're going to duel him at level 40. The other important thing that I need to mention is that when you build a farm deck, you need to make sure that you have the skill set Draw Sense, either low level or Draw Sense light. And you're going to want to make sure that you don't put any other monsters in your deck that are above level 4 so that you can ensure that you get Cerberus. So we're going to show you guys how this works, and it's a pretty effective strategy. So basically the idea is, starting off, you don't want to play any cards. You want to let the NPC or whatever, thankfully I'm going second, you want to let the NPC go first and do a bunch of damage to you, and then you get to activate the skill so that you can add the Cerberus if you don't open up with it. So as you guys can see, I have a bunch of spells that essentially don't do anything, but once I get that Cerberus, I'm going to be able to get things rolling pretty well. So the other thing is that, sorry, I kind of Had to cough for a second. But another thing is that there are certain tech cards that I've added to this because I want to be able to maximize the different things that I do. So I'm just going to draw and pass since I don't have the Cerberus. Like, for example, I have Polymerization and the Thunder Dragons because you get a bonus if you fusion summon. I also have Stray Lambs, which I'll be playing, and then if they don't get rid of the Stray Lamb tokens, I'll tribute them for Thunder Dragon, and then I'll be able to, get the bonus for doing a tribute summon. So right now we're in an absolutely fantastic spot because they're going to be attacking for 3,600, and the lower that your life points are, the more effective this strategy is because you get a bonus for your life points being on the brink. And the other aspect of it that you guys are going to see as we do this is that we're going to stall for 20 turns or for however long it takes for us to get to our last card. So I took all that damage. Instead of drawing, I'm going to be sure to activate skill, and that'll ensure that I get Cerberus. So now I can get the ball rolling. I can start doing all the crazy things that I need to do. So we got Cerberus. We're going to summon Cerberus, and then you guys are going to see the magic start working. Sorry about this game taking forever. Sometimes it takes forever. So the first thing first we're going to do is activate D-Spell. This is actually very effective against Rex for the simple fact that he plays multiple mountains. Or Wasteland, sorry. I don't know why I said mountain. I thought it was, yeah. So anyways, you play D-Spell, hit the mountain or whatever. Cerberus goes up to 1,900 attacks. So now he's higher than everything else. I'm going to activate Reliable Guardian for no reason other than just give him the permanent 500 boost, which is very, very important. The other thing that I think should be noted that I haven't seen in like the other farming videos is that you don't want to play a bunch of continuous spells. And if you do play like equip spells and stuff like this right here, you're going to want to make sure that you never clear or clog up your spell or trap zones because you're going to want to make sure that you have that last open space so that you can use stop defense at the very end. So right now I'm sitting here with a 3,200 Cerberus, and what's going to end up happening is Rex is going to put all his stuff in defense, and then it's just going to be a matter of draw, pass, over and over again as I'm drawing spells and continuing to boost my Cerberus. So as expected, he puts his stuff in defense. And then this only serves to benefit me because he has spell cards in his deck as well as the fact that my deck is nothing but spell cards. So he's going to continue to, put his stuff in defense. I'm going to continue to draw and, play my spells or whatever. The only thing that kind of sucks right now is I can't activate that Twister. However, I'll show you guys something once we get to it that'll kind of show you another little angle that you can take during this to maximize the amount of rewards that you're getting. So as expected, he ends his turn. This is going to continue. This is going to continue to happen for the duration of the game. I'm not going to activate Humble Sentry just yet. The only reason I play Humble Sentry is because you want to ideally have no cards left in deck whenever you do the kill shot, whenever you attack for your massive amount of damage. But the only problem is that sometimes you end up going through your deck a little bit quicker because of like the Thunder Dragons, and I have a Cup of Ace and a couple other things that allow me to like get through my deck pretty quick. So we activate the Thunder Dragon, get our 2 Thunder Dragons. And I'm not going to fuse just yet because I want to make sure that I get the Stray Lambs and then tribute one of them for the Thunder Dragon so I get the bonus for the tribute summon. So we're going to just pass. Hopefully this stuff is helping you guys because I like I said, I don't feel that the farming guides really explained this as in-depth as they needed to be explained. So that's more than likely that there's a trap card that Rex plays. Something else that's very important is that if you thank God we drew the stray lambs. It's pretty good. One of the things that's important as well is that if you're intending to farm a legendary duelist, it's probably a good idea to play against them a couple times to get an idea for what decks or what they're playing in their deck. Like this strategy will not work against Kaiba because Kaiba plays enemy controller. So you can end up getting like super screwed over if you try to do this against Kaiba because he'll just either enemy controller your stuff to defense, or he can steal it and then just attack you for game out of nowhere. So he activates the Wasteland and gives my Cerberus another 500 boost to his attack. And now we're really gonna get things rolling because here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna tribute summon. Oh, not Twister. I'm going to tribute summon for Thunder Dragon. So I get the bonus for a tribute summon. Make sure if you do this, if you have this deck list built, if you copy my deck list or whatever, make sure you tribute the token and not the Cerberus, because then you'll end up completely fucking over your strategy if you get rid of the Cerberus. So we're going to play the Polymerization. We're going to get out the Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon. And now we're going to go to work on his monsters. And this is a big thing because you get a bonus for destroying a certain amount of monsters. So we're going to, it looks like we have enough turns. We should be able to get rid of 10 monsters at the least. So we got our Cerberus up to 5,200 attack. We're going to start taking out his monsters with the twin-headed Thunder Dragon. And then we are just going to keep passing. So at this point, I've got Twister, which would actually end up, getting rid of my life points or whatever if I activated it. But actually, I don't even think you can activate it without having the right amount of life points. But we have a card in the deck. It's called Muyen Curry. I don't actually know how to say it. It's a really weird spelling of the word. But I'm gonna play Muyen Curry. It's gonna boost my life points by 200, and it's gonna give me the opportunity to activate Twister and put my life points down to 100. And that being the case, I'll get another little bonus for that. So the important thing, I guess, I don't want to activate half shut. The important things that I think I need to really emphasize with farming is that you need to make sure that you try to get your life points down to 100. You want to try to destroy as many of your opponent's monsters as possible. You want to be sure to attack for a shit ton of damage. And pretty much that's it. You want to make sure you have no cards left in deck as well whenever you do it. And then obviously if you can incorporate things like tribute summons, or if you can incorporate things like a ritual summon, fusion summon, etc., you get bonuses for that as well. So it only serves to help you if you're able to, to maximize the different things that you can do with your deck. It rarely happens that I ever flip heads on Cup of Ace, but that worked. It worked indeed. So I activate the Magic Reflector on the Book of Secret Arts just because, just to give the Cerberus another 500 attack. Basically, the concept behind the deck is that you want to use as many throwaway spell cards as you possibly can to ensure that each turn you're basically just boosting your Cerberus by another 500 attack. So we'll just pass. And this card right here, Half Shut, it's fantastic for this strategy, mainly because once you stop defense one of your opponent's monsters, if they have kind of a high attack the way that the dinosaur monsters that Rex has, then you can decrease their attack so that you can get that. Maybe if you need that little extra boost to get your monster above 10,000 or whatever, so you can get that over 9,999 damage. So we're going to activate the Muyen Curie, get my life points up by 200. Sorry, my voice is kind of cracked. I'm a 12-year-old going through puberty. But yeah, we're going to recover the life points. And then Cerberus goes up to 7,200. We're going to activate Twister. Twister is going to pop off his Wasteland. I don't think he plays more than 2. So there's a chance that he doesn't activate another one. I know he does have Big Evolution Pill, though, so that's another spell that he could potentially activate. But we're just going to attack one of his monsters with Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon. No, we don't want to use Half Shut. And we pass back to him. So hopefully you guys are still enjoying this video. I know it's kind of like long or whatever, but just trying to show you guys everything that you can do. Oh, he does play another Wasteland. Nice. So we get a nice little 500 boost from the from the Wasteland. So Cerberus is up to 8,200 now. And we still have 3 spells, so we can, just not even including the effects of the spell cards, we're going to be able to get my guy up to pretty high, basically. So yeah, at this point, we are just going to attack. And there's another thing, also, you get a boost if you use a trap card, obviously. So I'm going to end up using Jar of Greed at some point, and that actually kind of combos well with the Humble Sentry, because you can ensure that you have a card to draw for the Jar of Greed. Assuming the Jar of Greed is not the last card I draw. That would, in which case I'm not going to worry about it. And of course, Rex has to do his little snazzy thing, thinking he's hot shit, summoning a Mega Zowler. But yeah, hopefully at the end of this I can get a Crawling Dragon number 2, because I actually really need one. So activate Earthquake. It's looking like we may have to forego the use of Jar of Greed, unless it's literally my next card. Because I only have 2 cards left in the deck, and that's Jar of Greed and Stop Defense. So, go to Battle Phase. Another thing as well that I think is important to note is that you want to make sure you're constantly paying attention. I was actually doing like a little test run with the farming deck like a second ago before I made the video, and I activated Earthquake, and like, you know, you kind of get in that rhythm of activate spell, attack, pass turn, whatever. I activated Earthquake and I left my fucking Cerberus in defense, and I was playing one of the NPCs that does like ritual summons or some shit, and like she attacked my fucking Cerberus. I was just like, oh my god, I feel retarded. Alright, yeah, we're gonna activate Humble Sentry. It doesn't really matter what we send back. Probably gonna send back the Flamberge just because it requires to discard a card. Probably won't end up using that. So now we can set the Jar of Greed. And then on the next turn, we'll have the kill shot. So we can just kind of go in there, take out his monster. No, I don't want to use half shot. I think at this point we should have destroyed close to 10 monsters. I think 10's the maximum amount that they'll allow you to destroy and like get the bonus for it. Oh, Jesus Lord. I was about to say, I was trying to say Jesus Lord and I said, oh, George. But no, the game is like starting to kind of lag out a little bit. It's one thing I've encountered. Hopefully it's not something that happens during this video, but I have encountered the issue where I'll like farm and like do all these crazy things, you know, to get this maximum score, and then, oh, wait a second. Oh, stop defense is the last card. I was like, where the fuck's my stop defense? But I had an incident where I did all this crazy stuff, and then like when I went to get my reward, the fucking game like crashed, and I got the little like server reboot message and stuff, and it was crushing, to say the least. It was very crushing. So yeah, we're on the last turn. We have 0 cards left in deck with 100 life points. We're going to stop defense. We're going to turn this face down monster to attack mode. See what it is. It is a 2-headed King Rex. So it didn't matter. They both had the same attack. So like I said, we're not going to use the Flamberge. Actually, I'm trying to think if that would be. No, we just go ahead and go the simple route. Take the Wonder Wand to the Cerberus. So that's going to put him up to 10,700, and then with half shot, that's going to put him at 11,200, I think. It looks like. Do not want to do half shot on him. Do it on the 2-headed King Rex. So he is at 11,200, and the 2-headed King Rex is 900. Just in case we haven't destroyed 10 monsters, we're going to attack the Crawler Dragon number 2 just to make sure we do it. And then Cerberus is going to attack for a whopping 10,300 attack. As long as this game doesn't lag. So nice, we did 10,300 damage. And now we're going to reap the rewards of our labor. So there's one thing as well, is that you're not guaranteed to get any one particular thing, but it's a good chance that I'm going to be able to rack up a lot of shit. So let's see what we got. We're going to get like a lot of bonuses because we were able to basically maximize the amount of things that we did. My dude's obviously level 30, so he doesn't need that. So I get a comeback victory bonus, life points on the brink, cards on the brink, played glossy card, over 9,999 damage, destroyed 10 monsters, activate spell, activate trap, special summon, fusion summon, etc., etc., etc. And we got, I don't care about that stupid, we got a Crawling Dragon number 2, which we needed. So yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hopefully it helped you out. Like I said, I don't feel like there are enough farming guides that actually help you like with this sort of thing. But if you did, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.